So, gonna take the seat off here. It's got these little screws with washers. Objective is to get at the gas line, take the gas tank off, hopefully. So the gas tank is held on by this piece of metal here. There's a couple bolts here, and there's one bolt here. One bolt is missing. Here's the rear lights, which I presume is this wire here at the front. So this bolt on this side here broke right off. The other side was missing already. For this side here, they appear to be, the nuts have square heads on the other side, so there's a square slot in the body here, but they're just spinning, so I think I'll just cut these off with the grinder. Alright, so I cut these two bolts off here, and if we lift this off, we got a white going to one headlight, a black going to the other headlight. Here's the gas line coming into the tank here, and see what happens with that white underneath the tank. Yeah, it looks like there's just a junction here for the two headlight lights. So we had this piece of foam underneath the gas tank, and then this piece of metal here's got a piece of foam on top, over top of the gas tank. So underneath the electrical tape, this connector here. So just pull out that white wire, and I think it's just a simple Y. So there's the two square things that were supposed to hold that bolt, so you could take the nut off, those two bolts. So can't necessarily see it that well, but there's a bolt on the far side here that just goes to nowhere. But then there's the gas line coming in through the gas side to this line here, and that line goes down into the tank, to the bottom of the tank, and it's got a little can you see it? Yeah, on the end there you can see it's got a little gas filter, and it's got a zip tie holding the gas line on there. Tank looks really beautiful inside, so totally clean. So I think I'll just flush it out a bit. I'm going to take this brake assembly off. I'll have to loosen the, so I can get the cable out. Take these two bolts off here, which bolt the whole thing onto the frame. The bottom of this spring is actually through a cotter pin that sticks through the frame here, so I can just lift that off. And then I should be able to loosen this nut here off to loosen up the calipers to get the whole thing off, presumably. This little spring here wasn't even fastened or anything, it was just draped over top of this nut, which is not correct. But maybe put it underneath that bolt, that nut. There's a piece of broken nut and bolt here from something up here, I guess. Probably, yeah, should have been holding that in place, so that'll have to be fixed as well. Two little shoes here, the brake pads, I mean, are just loose and come out. The shorter one, the narrower one, was inside this part here. The fatter one was inside this side here. Now that I've got this thing loose, I can undo this screw, take out the cable. The brake pad closest to the plunger side here had this little metallic thing. You can see the witness marks from where the plungers hit it. It was there, and then the pad was on top of it. And when there's a little spring in here, when you adjust the brakes, these little plungers in here, these little black things move and push this metal pad against the shoe, or the brake pad, which then pushes against the clutch. Of course, the brake cable comes down through a hole in this nut here, or sorry, on this side, I think. And of course, the nut on the other side of this was stripped out, so I just used vice grips. I have to put a new nut there, it'd be better. All right, we're going to try and take off the driven clutch here in the interest of getting the body ready to work on. It had this cover on it. That cover was held on by this washer and this wing nut. You can see this rubber gasket here, which is coming off, and it actually is ripped. So something else broken. Nut, which came off no problem with impact. Next, there's a bolt here holding on this bearing retention thing. There's a bolt there. There's a bolt down here. I don't know how the hell I'm going to get at that. Then there's these two bolts over here. And these things are in really rough shape. I think I'll just put a torch on these right off the bat. I can get better access to these two bolts. These two here were loose, which is good. I mean, not loose, but could easily get there, not tight. These two here I tried a little bit. They're going to be a problem. I think I'll remove this thing, which has got to come off anyway. The dashboard here, it's held on with a couple of bolts down here, a couple of bolts, one on either side here, and this thing here, so you can get the it out from the handlebars. For this one here on the right side, you can see here there's a little clip that holds on the ignition cable, so I can bend that back to get it out of the way.